Michael, why don't you start us off, buddy? Why don't you introduce everybody? Come on.
Yeah, I'm Michael. I just let out a cloud of nicotine. This is Kodie.
Hi.
That's Dawson.
Dawson. Me.
No, I know Dan. Yeah.
Come on.
No, I was joking. This is Dan. Yeah. This is Allison. Say hi. They need to know the voices. Yeah. Jake.
Yeah.
Matt.
What?
And Garrett.
You're gonna have to put a lot of
No,
features
Garrett, you gotta
on
like,
this
you
video.
gotta like.
Yeah.
You gotta
Hello.
say something.
Hello.
All right.
Garrett's here.
Today we're talking about Lil Ugly Mane's
Mr. Thug Isolation.
Mr. Thug Isolation. I know what the fucking album is.
And probably.
And I
You
didn't
didn't listen to all of it.
I didn't listen to all of it, so that's why I'm not talking much.
It's okay.
So
So
I'm-
but I'm excited.
So I'm passing the ball to Dawson.
Oh, all right. Put me on the spot. Okay.
Take control.
So Mr. Thug Isolation is the breakout debut by Lil Ugly Mane, former noise musician turned Memphis rapper. Lil Ugly Mane
Fuck yeah.
is like
It's not that bad.
one of my favorite artists, and just the way that he has continued to innovate throughout his career, and like even for how short it is, like the range of genres that he's gone through, like on Third Side of Tape.
So what kind of genre is
amazing.
this?
It's similar. It's actually sort of. You were talking about Suicide Boys earlier. It's sort of similar to that, but like in the way that Suicide Boys borrows from like 90s Memphis rap stuff. Lil Ugly Mane takes influence from that, but like does it in a different style.
Yeah. So it's like the best way to describe it with that is like
It's like 3-6 Mafia kind of.
yeah.
Mhm.
And it's got like
Michael
a lot of
says
it's like for example like the opening track that like
Noise.
just really high pitched. There's a lot of noise going on in the background, just like noise,
Mhm.
drone. He's got like this. He's got vocal effects that just make it kind of like blend in with the music.
Yeah, it's very.
and it's just very like drony and grimy almost.
because Michael
Yeah.
said that the vocalist sounds like
yeah.
Oh,
Michael said
So
this.
no, we're gonna open it up
Stop
like this. This is a
that
great way to open it up. On the title, on the not on the title track, on the track "Slick Rick." Listen to it. I guarantee you'll think "Lonely Island" just
Is
like
it like
I
Lonely Island but less memey?
did. No, it's
Yeah,
not.
well,
no,
the
it's-
album isn't
oh.
actually meant to be.
Like his
Yeah.
voice like ends and begins with the comparisons. Like
Yeah.
that's the only
Yeah.
comparison between
Yeah.
Lonely Island.
It's
And
not-
sometimes the delivery too.
It's not
Yeah.
A little bit.
It's
Like-
not like intentionally like comedic music.
Yeah.
I mean, he like has some funny lines here and there.
He a goofy dude.
And like Slick
Yeah.
Rick is probably the most comedic like track that I listen to.
The entire, actually, like one of the biggest appeals of the album, and just his persona in general, but specifically on Mr. Thug, is like he is so much about like just going overboard with like everything, sort of like in a Death Grip style, where he just like takes all of the elements of rap and just takes it to its logical extreme. So there's like really wild samples all over that album, and then like the vocal effects are distorted as hell, and then he has like so many lines about like just being as gross and like nasty as possible. But it's like it's done in a fun way where it's like you have a blast when you're listening to it. It's a lot of fun.
And the sub knocks the entire
Yeah, I
album.
mean that will like destroy your speakers.
Mhm.
We were listening to it on Matt's computer the other day, and it was like rattling the dresser. and
Yeah.
stuff. It was really loud.
Yeah.
Mhm.
What
So
else?
let's just open this up. Let's just open this up by the first track. I almost had a complete heart attack whenever I started in my car,
Yeah,
and I had
yeah.
the speakers almost as loud as they could go, and the giant high-pitched fucking like what even is that whine in the beginning?
It's noise, but
It's
it's like
music.
it's like wah, 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 wah,
No.
wah, wah.
It's like it almost sounds like an
Like,
alien like
the-
beaming
the-
down.
Uh-huh,
like,
yeah, that's how I
abducting
like it.
someone.
Yeah,
like
like
a
after-
UFO taking
Yeah,
someone
and it
out.
goes
Yeah.
like it goes on for like a decent amount of time, and it just fades into like
An ultralight beam.
this
Oh, no, it's
like I don't even know like
I'm-
just the chasm of sound. This like very dark chasm of sound. Is-
Yeah. That's
yeah.
how I describe his music.
So on a
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, how edgy is it?
Edgy?
Well, you thought-
it's not really
It's not
edgy.
really edgy.
It's like
It's very underground and really
Underground.
it's
dark.
like
Yeah.
it's like dark and moody, but it's done in like a fun way.
It's not.
So it's not like an angsty. It's
Mm-mm.
more
No,
like,
no,
It's
not like
it's
an
like a
emo
really
album or anything
aggressive,
like that, no.
like
Okay.
yeah, type of.
And like his shows are really like it's crazy. He's a Like a lot of the new age SoundCloud stuff is borrowed from Lil Ugly Mane.
Yeah, actually, he has influenced a lot of like underground rap.
I don't know when did that album come out? 2012.
Yeah, 12.
Yeah. It's like
empty.
way ahead of its time
Yeah.
for how it was.
for sure.
So yeah, I just want you guys. Let's just go track by track. So if you can,
I'll just say favorite tracks, I guess.
yeah, start go favorite tracks.
Favorite tracks would be Slick Rick, Wishmaster, No Slack on My Mac.
Yeah.
What's the name of that? What's the one you really like, Garrett?
Cup full of Beetlejuice.
Cup full of Beetlejuice. Yeah.
I like
And,
Cup full of Beetlejuice. Lean got me fucked up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Lean got me fucked up.
I mean, like
Serious shit.
every song on that album is like so much fun to listen to, unless you have a heart attack on the first.
Yeah,
track.
like I just did.
Always, but
Yeah, it's pretty loud.
Yeah, it's a lot.
Loud music's the best kind.
That's true.
You know?
it's true.
The louder, the better.
So
Yeah,
Matt,
I agree.
fill me in. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. Wasn't a huge fan up until Slick Rick. Outside of actually the first track.
It actually gets way better.
Yeah.
after
How
Slick
far
Rick.
in is Slick Rick? How did
It's like
fifth
the
track?
halfway
Yeah,
point.
Yeah, fifth track.
No, it's not halfway. It's
Oh,
like,
No,
like
it's
maybe
a little bit
fourth
below. I know
below.
that. Fill me in, Matt. Did you like Mr. Thug Isolation?
Yes, I thought it slapped hard.
Yeah.
There's-
Favorite tracks.
I thought Manic Drug Dealer 3 was good.
Oh
and
yeah, that was really good.
I thought, what was it? Horse Ass Bitch was good.
These
I-
names are iconic.
Yeah.
And then I liked Lean Got Me Fucked Up.
Yeah.
Fucked up is fine.
So okay, so Jake, did you say some of your favorite tracks?
See, I have such a bad memory for like titles of music.
Yeah.
Forgetting some
Um,
tracks.
Yeah, Cup Full of Beetlejuice, really
Yeah, that
fucking
one
good.
bangs.
I gotta look at this shit. Looking for the suckin' is really
Yeah.
funny.
Yeah.
Shit.
Yeah. Lugubrious, Bitch I'm Lugubrious.
Oh, yeah.
That's good.
We basically named every track.
Yeah.
on that.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
It's
all
all
like
the tracks
an
are
amazing
good.
album.
Yeah.
So
so good.
I was wanting to talk about just like thought I'd guide this into first of all like his delivery is really odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's weird.
It's kind of hard to describe, but it's like almost just like on. It's like on. Sometimes it's just like on beat, but it's not on every beat. And you see like a word and like it's
I
just
think
very slow.
Matt said something about that when we were listening to it. He's like, these lyrics aren't even on beat at all.
Yeah.
Like,
I
Really,
they're
I
totally-
found them just like it was like, you know, like something like walk to the park, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you know, like anything like that, or like you know, like it was like Slick Rick. It's not like, you know.
I actually think that was intentional
Yeah.
because like it's sort of similar to the way like somebody like Danny Brown would do it, where like the beats that he's on are like so like whacked out and weird, and he's just like kind of, you know, he has like that persona that he puts on of like, you know, he's like whacked out and like dealing
Yeah.
drugs and like having sex with women like every
Yeah.
night and whatever. And so he's like, you know, he's like whacked out and everything, but you know, similar to Danny Brown, you know, he's not always on the beat, and that kind of adds to like the weirdness. And
Like
the,
that, I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, like his persona of just being like this wild dude that
Uh-huh.
just doesn't care.
There's like a sample. It's the Cup Full of Beetlejuice sample where it's
Yeah.
like, I got a cup full
Yeah.
of Beetlejuice, and it's not even on. the
Yeah,
beat.
not
that's
at
so
all,
funny
yeah.
though.
Yeah.
Which which one was it where it's like, I think it's probably the last track where it just like cycles through like the 3 samples or whatever.
Oh
He
yeah.
like keeps playing them.
Actually,
Or is that on Uneven
track
Compromise
is
where it's
that?
like,
Is
labels.
Labeled. Oh
yeah,
yeah.
that's in the middle
Is
of
that-
Uneven Compromise.
Yeah. Oh, that's
Yeah.
not even compromise. Okay.
Uh-huh.
That album's good too.
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
That one's amazing.
Yeah, actually, speaking of like being on the beat too, a lot of older Memphis rap tapes, like they were just like kids when they made those. I mean, they're
Yeah.
like they're intentionally like lo-fi and like
Yeah.
shitty by like, you know.
But like
most
this one is like
measures.
it sounds shitty, but if you realize like the detail that went into making the
Yeah,
beats, it's
yeah. I
insane.
mean, it
Obviously
harkens
was
back to
crafted.
like those tapes. Like it's made to sound like, you know, straight out of like something out of like Tony Wright's discography or
Yeah.
something.
Have you listened to Ghost Perp at all?
Oh, no, not much actually. But
He's
he
like-
is, yeah, he is similar to
Same genre, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Michael, you do a pretty good job at keeping us on track for this podcast, actually.
Yeah, I was about to ask about. So we've kind of tried describing it. And this was easily, of course, like the oddest thing to me about the entire album that I listened to, like up through Slick Rick, his beats. How would you guys describe them?
Weird.
I think they're really hard hitting a lot of the time. Like
They're like really
Bushmaster
trippy,
and like,
but structured and like.
They're so like overproduced, like, and that's not like a negative thing in this context. Like, I actually think it works really well. How like on like Manic Drug Dealer 3, he has like these weird like warbling horns in the background at the beginning of it. You know, that just like keep going up, and you're like, it's like it kind of blows your mind.
A lot of jazz samples.
Yeah, it's actually when we were listening to it the other night, I mentioned I was like, it's so weird how it's a Memphis rap album at its core, and yet it has so much jazz influence.
Yeah.
But it works really well. I don't know how he managed to mix those genres so
like,
well.
Is it on the Main and Drug Dealer where it's like the horn goes like I
think so, yeah.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, even the first Serious Shit, like, there's like that jazz sample in the background.
Yeah.
So, Matt, what did you say your favorite album was? Or not your favorite album, favorite track?
Manic Drug Dealer 3 slapped really hard.
Okay.
Yeah, that was really good.
I think so. I'm gonna ignore the obvious drug connotation there for why you like it.
Okay.
But I want your thoughts on it.
Thoughts on it?
Yeah.
That track?
Yeah.
It's been a while since I've listened to it, but I thought the beat was just so fire.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also it was like the third track, so I was like, whoa. And then,
Yeah.
See, because the thing about that track was where I started to get lost, and I'm not sure why.
Vegetable.
You should finish it. You really should, because it does get a lot better. Like, Slick Rick is like the first track I feel like on the album that's like, you're like, all right, now I'm starting to like really like this.
I just thought like everything he was doing on Slick Rick was just really fucking funny.
Yeah,
like,
and it keeps that consistency like the rest of the album pretty much.
Because I also was not going. It's not one of those albums that you can just like. You're like, oh, like I'm gonna listen to it. Like I was like, I'm just going to like listen to a rap album. That was the wrong thing to think going into that album. I think.
Yeah, no, it's not
It's more
like
of a sonic landscape.
Yeah.
It definitely is, and that's what I was picking up from it. And I was driving to art class, so wasn't really ready for that one.
Yeah.
Coming at me.
That's probably what I like about it the most is like it is a rap album, but it does a lot more than that, and just goes like off the wall, fucking really weird.
Yeah, like if you want to pay attention, it will benefit, but like you can also use it as kind of like an ambient background.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that really does stem from him being a noise musician originally. I mean, obviously there's noise on the album, but his approach to making Memphis rap is very like, he's like an outsider, you know, but like he very much has roots in the genre. Yeah.
So you keep bringing up the Memphis rap. Tell me about Memphis rap.
Okay, so Memphis rap came from Memphis.
I would have never guessed.
It's a style of rap that started getting popular. Well, in the underground, it started getting popular like around like '90s, like mid '90s, by like Tommy Wright III and 3-6 Mafia. Obviously, are like probably the biggest example of like leaders of the genre. And it's basically like lo-fi, very sort of bare-bone beats a lot of times. It's focused on like being very dark and like creating it's very similar to like horrorcore.
Yeah.
Like, and sometimes those terms are like used sort of interchangeably. But
it samples a lot of like older rap music.
yeah, like a lot of times they'll do samples from like horror movies, or you know they'll have a lot of
We're gonna have to
really
edit
dark-
out all these calls.
dark instrumental passages and
Yeah.
stuff.
God damn it! Fuck.
Whoa, you got a nice
Bitch.
flipping.
That's a good bit.
part.
God damn it!
So now that we're back on track,
Was it Suicide Boys actually
Wait, one
sampled
more.
a song off this album?
Oh, did
Yeah,
they?
treat 'em. The song Suicide Boys called "Treat 'Em Like a Prostitute."
Mhm.
Oh,
Yeah.
Slick Rick.
Yeah.
They sampled Slick
Slick
Rick
Rick.
or like Slick Rick by Lil Ugly Mane.
Yeah.
"Slick Rick" by Lil Ugly.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so, finally, like one of the last things I wanted to know is like about Lil Ugly Mane because I had actually, fun fact, never heard of him
Just say
before.
Travis Barker is his name.
Travis Miller.
Yeah.
Travis Miller.
And
You said
I-
Travis
I-
Barker?
Yeah, I was like, oh.
I had never heard of him.
Also, I'm talking.
That would be a twist.
Yeah.
I had never heard of him until you guys said we were gonna do this album,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't know anything about him going into the album. So, who is Lil Ugly Mane? You mentioned a little bit, but
So-
He's not just Lil Ugly.
He's just
Mane.
a
Yeah,
cool
Travis
ass
Miller
dude.
has worked under a lot of different names. He's been Lil Ugly Mane, Black Cat, I think is one of the names of the projects, which is a noise project, I'm pretty sure. He's been doing Bedwetter is like one of his more recent projects. It's sort of similar to Lil Ugly Mane, like, but more dark in a kind of depressing way, rather than the maximalist, like, over the top production of Mr. Thug.
I just realized Travis Barker's from Blink-182.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like,
Yeah.
So how did you guys like discover this? Like,
I don't remember actually. I've been listening to Lil Ugly Mane for years.
Yeah. I don't know how Dawson found him. Dawson showed him to me. He like for a long time was like, you gotta listen to Lil Ugly Mane. I listened to Uneven Compromise first, and
Which is probably a bad place to start.
I
Yeah,
first
well-
heard. I found out about him when Oblivion Access came out.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that was kind of a big deal whenever that album was released.
It was probably like a Fantano review, or I just saw it on Rate Your Music,
Uh-huh.
or maybe it was on Facebook or something. I don't remember exactly where I remember. I do think I started with Mr. Thug, though. I think that was the first time I heard it.
I heard Oblivion Access and then Uneven Compromise.
Yeah.
yeah, we can open this up to a full Lil
Yeah.
Ugly Mane discussion.
Yeah. So Michael, basically, Mr. Thug is like the more dark and like sort of goofy, like over the top Memphis rap, and then Oblivion Access is more
Noisy.
Yeah, it's more noisy. It's more like spaced out. It's more depressing. There's a lot more lyrics about like him dealing with like existential crisis and like coming to terms with like death and stuff, which
Ooh,
It's
Living
kind of
Access is
a-
a cool ass album art.
yeah, it's a weird album. It's like much weirder than Mr. Thug.
Like Uneven Compromise is like to me like that bridge between the two where
Yeah.
it combines like all of the elements of his music
sure.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
The
so
first
he doesn't work under Lil Ugly Mane anymore.
He has, or no, he's been dropping some recent stuff. He hasn't released an album since Oblivion Access though.
So what
But
year?
he might release an album.
the
again someday.
first track on Oblivion Access is Ejaculated Poisoned Wrench.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So if that tells you anything about
So
him.
what
Yeah.
year was Oblivion Access?
2015.
Okay.
Have you listened to Uneven Compromise?
No.
No,
That-
he hadn't heard him at all. since.
That's the one where like I felt like I was like, oh, I really
I love
I feel like
Uneven
that's his
Compromise.
magnum opus.
Uh-huh.
It's
I don't think
it's
I'll
like
find that.
it's one of those albums where it's like one song, but it's
Mhm.
like
It's 10 minutes.
yeah,
10
it's
minutes
an EP,
long.
it's an EP really.
It's
Interesting.
like a 3-part song
Yeah.
basically that
It's-
all
it's awesome.
flows into each other. But
And
Really
that
interesting
passage,
track.
like in the end, where he's like spitting the bars about like his friend who's on heroin or
Yeah.
something, and then his wife is like, he killed my kids or
Yeah.
something, and then he's like, no, he wouldn't ever do that. But then he was like, wait, he totally would do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
I love the different tones that he takes on that. How it just starts off with this just dirty ass Memphis
Yeah.
beat. Like that is one of the best beats I've ever heard.
Yeah.
Just like this grimy ass, hard hitting like that will bang with
Yeah.
some subs.
Yeah.
And he starts out with that, and then transitions into like this more old school type, like the narrative style.
Yeah.
And it's kind of calmer, and then it transitions into this like really mysterious and weird section, and then there's just like harsh noise that just fucks you at the end.
Yeah, that's
Which-
one of my favorite parts. Though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Matt, what are your thoughts on Lil Ugly Mane?
I was open-minded going in. I was like, "This is fire."
Yeah.
Matthew, what are you doing right now?
Trying to write my speech.
It's college life.
yeah, I
Yeah.
have some homework I gotta do later.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I gotta
but,
go
like-
study for a test after this.
But the thing about, but whenever I went in to, like, my first thought after the near heart attack and figuring out what that noise was, and then abruptly realizing the noise had faded, was, this is not normal rap at all.
No.
He occupies a weird corner. Of
Yeah,
hip-hop.
and I think
yeah.
like also like his vocal effects on Isolation are like actually very unique.
Yeah.
And half the time it almost like, I mean, it just doesn't sound like him sometimes because like there's so much like backing his voice. Like you said, it's like so overproduced. Like there's so much backing his voice, like it almost doesn't sound like him.
Yeah.
And so then like whenever like he starts going in, like that line, treat him like a prostitute, right?
Yeah.
Like, and like he's going in on that. Like it's weird because like he's coming like into focus, but like his voice is like, how you say, like also like trying to like occupy the back of the sound.
Yeah, yeah. It almost reminds me of like you know, like DJ Screw.
Yeah.
Like it's almost like a chopped and screwed style.
That's what I was
in
going to
in a
mention.
sense,
Like, it's very chopped and
where it's
screwed.
very like, it just makes you feel kind of weird when you listen to it. Like it's intentionally meant to sound like druggy and
really
like, fucked
unsettling.
up and like not all there, you know. But
Yes,
I wanted to mention too, Third Side of Tape. Garrett, you've heard Third Side of Tape, right?
Mm-hmm.
So Third Side of Tape is a 3-album long compilation
Yeah.
that spans from like basically all of his unreleased recorded work, ranging from like when he was a kid to when he released it in 2015, I think, or 2013 maybe. But that one's really interesting because it goes through like this wide array of different styles. Like he does everything from like hardcore punk to black metal to Memphis rap to like experimental hip hop, and I mean it's just insane. And it's very like loosely formed. I mean it is just a bunch of different tracks put together, but the way that he was able to take all these different genres and like form them into a project as cohesive as it is like amazing to me.
Yeah. It's kind of like the new Death Grips. Like
Yeah.
kinda,
I was gonna
where
say
Yeah.
it was all like that.
It's like random genres just like kind of blended together with like hip hop elements, like scratching and such.
Yeah.
Well, if anybody has any like final thoughts on that, we could move into like just other rappers we really like for
Yeah.
the second half of the.
So Slick Rick reminds me of Lonely Island. Final thought.
Okay.
That comparison pisses me off.
I know.
I'm gonna
I
have
know.
to-
I know it pisses him off because he can kind of see it,
Mhm.
and that's what pisses him
Yeah.
off about it.
I mean, I don't. There's nothing wrong with that. I
No,
don't think.
I just think it's funny.
Yeah.
That's part of why I thought like Slick Rick was so funny.
He actually does less of that vocal effect
Yeah.
on like Oblivion Access. Like it's his more natural voice on that one, whereas on Mr. Thug he just like fucks his voice with, you know,
Yeah.
vocal effects. Okay, so you want to move into favorite rappers now? Is that what you said?
Yeah,
sure.
talk about rappers.
Sure,
I feel like I don't want to like force stuff out
Yeah.
of the Lil
Yeah.
Ugly Mane talk.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, no,
just
for sure.
I'll talk about like internet rappers, like Lil B is one of my favorite
Lil B,
rappers.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love Lil B.
What's your favorite?
I'm sorry, guys.
project?
Oh, it's Six Kiss.
Six
Yeah,
easily.
Six Kiss is
Okay.
amazing.
Yeah, because whenever he spits over a Clams Casino beat, it's just insane.
Dude, Clams Casino is
Yeah.
really fucking good.
Uh-huh.
I heard the like posthumous Lil Peep Clams
Oh.
Casino song
Yeah, that was
came
great.
out. I was like, fuck.
Lil
Yeah.
Peep's definitely one of my favorites.
Yeah.
For sure.
Yeah.
Man, the way that just comes in with like Birth of Rap, and it's just like
I-
it's such an ethereal.
Yeah,
like,
the first time I heard
track,
that, I
like-
was like, this guy's kind of ruining this like beautiful beat. for a
Yeah,
second,
but then I
was
like got used to it after a
Yeah,
while. I was like,
I'm like, shit, this is
like-
one of the best hip hop
I was like,
songs I've
this
ever
is
heard.
tight. Like,
Which
yeah.
one?
Yeah.
It's called "I'm God" by Lil B.
Oh, okay.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah, that's like.
And then like
Or were you talking about
Birth of Rap.
Birth
Yeah,
of Rap.
yeah, that's the first track on the album.
Uh-huh.
I mean, I'm God is like amazing too, but Birth of Rap, just like the way that album comes in, is just amazing.
And it's funny how it's called like Birth of Rap. Like he kind of knew he was like birthing the internet rap
Yeah,
genre
yeah.
at that point.
I
What
think-
all? Oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it's. I believe it's like the first album, chronologically speaking, that's labeled as cloud rap
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
on Rate Your Music.
Like Clams and Lil B like invented the cloud rap genre basically.
It's
What? I have no.
Real quick,
You're good.
Can we talk about like what it's like trying to look at Lil B's discography?
It's overwhelming.
It's
a lot,
overwhelming.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna
I
say.
have a lot to
What
get to.
from Lil B have you guys heard?
I've heard God's Father mixtape, Six Kiss, I'm Gay, I'm Happy. Have you
Yeah.
heard that one? I listened to the new one, Platinum Flame. I thought it was alright.
Yeah. Yeah.
He has like an 800 song mixtape. Lil B
he
does.
makes a lot
Of him just freestyling over just like random beats.
Real quick, talking about freestyle, I just want to interject. Did any of you guys listen to the hour-long freestyle that fucking Juice WRLD did?
Yes.
no.
No, I
It
didn't.
I
was
just saw a little bit of it. I didn't watch the
Actually
whole thing.
incredible.
I was shocked
Yeah.
with listening
Yeah.
to it.
I've
I was
heard
really surprised when I heard that
don't
too.
think I've listened to a Juice WRLD. Like,
It's-
You haven't listened to Juice WRLD?
Mhm.
Juice WRLD is. I love Juice WRLD
I
personally.
mean, like, yeah, but you're a sad girl.
yeah,
Juice
but I'm a
WRLD-
sad
that's
girl,
true.
so-
Yeah.
To me, I haven't listened to that much Juice WRLD, but when I first heard Juice WRLD, I was like, "Is this Post Malone?"
Yeah.
Is that, like
kinda
it
has
literally
that
just
same
sounded.
vibe.
It sounded like Post Malone to me.
But like, cause like I
fucking
listened to
copied.
like I listened to his LP and I was like, oh okay, like I liked it, but like I thought like it got like super repetitive, and then like I listened to his and then and then I listened to his hour-long freestyle, and like I realized that like he actually has like a shit ton to offer.
Mhm.
So I'm super interested in seeing how he goes forward because like one, just like freestyling for an hour in and of itself is
Yeah.
kind of out of this world. And two, I mean, like he had definitely had the competitive lines. You have to have those, you know, whenever you're like,
Oh
freestyling
yeah.
for an hour.
I mean,
And just like the sheer like amount of beats that he was like rapping over
mhm.
really blew me away. He rapped over Yonkers,
Yeah.
rapped over the
Oh,
Yonkers
did he?
beat, and he killed it. And I just happen to love Tyler the Creator. And he,
Oh yeah, dude. Can I say? Yeah, who all likes Tyler the Creator?
I
Do you
love
like
Tyler.
yeah, I
that?
love him.
Yes.
Have you guys been listening to the like remixes he's been dropping on YouTube
No.
like every day?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
they're so fucking good.
They're really good.
I love them.
I didn't even know he was doing that.
Yeah, no, I can't.
Yeah.
Wait. I think he's. I really hope he drops like an album in 2019.
Yeah, he was just on like
Like,
he's kind of been
well.
going through his old albums and like just doing like freestyles like over like repurposed like beats and stuff. They sound really good. He was just on Cherry Bomb, and
Yeah.
that's actually why I just listened to Cherry Bomb for the first time because I heard the like remix he did. And everyone's like, "Oh man, this reminded me of Cherry Bomb days." Like, okay, I'll give it a shot. And I actually ended up liking it more than Wolf, surprisingly,
Really?
because Wolf's my favorite.
I don't know. I think for me, like, I understand there's like the meme behind like not liking Cherry Bomb, and it's not that I don't like Cherry Bomb, you know, but like for me, it definitely goes like Cherry Bomb, then Wolf, and then Flower Boy as like you know like from like least to favorite. And I
Flower Boy's really.
yeah, and I was never really into Odd Future as a kid.
Right.
And I haven't listened to their mixtape since I was like 16.
I listened to like Frank and Earl and
Yeah.
Tyler like all individually before I
Yeah.
heard any Odd Futures.
Yeah.
Same here.
But yeah, I like all of Tyler's albums, but like Wolf and
Oh,
sure.
we totally fucking forgot about Goblin, didn't we?
Oh, Goblin too. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bastard.
Hey, wait, what?
His mixtape Bastard.
Oh yeah.
Bastard actually.
Well, as far
to
as
me-
studio albums.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. That's
I
true, I
just
forgot
I
that
like
mixtape.
I like Wolf and Cherry Bomb like more than Flower Boy because they're so like what am I trying to say? Tyler sounds like so raw and aggressive on those albums, and Flower Boy it's really good, but it's just like more studio and more
Yeah.
like produced, and it's not bad at all. It's just I prefer him like at that really aggressive rap state.
Because I've been listening to like a lot of Flower Boy recently. Like I don't know why, I just feel like in that mood. And at first one of my least favorite tracks on it was Pothole with Jaden Smith. You know, and I've been re-listening to that track over and over and over. And now I think like in my opinion, it's like one of, if not the best track on the album.
How do you
Yeah.
feel
Yeah.
about Jaden Smith and his music career?
It's been fucking weird.
I think it's
haven't
weird
heard
because
anything.
I've
from
liked
Jaden
some of
Smith.
his stuff, and then it's like I've either really liked some of his stuff or I've really hated some
Yeah.
of his stuff.
I was actually surprised when he dropped his album because
Sire.
Sires.
like he has a lot of potential that I
Yeah.
think was kind of wasted on that album. Like the production on that album was really interesting, and I really liked the way that
The music videos he put out for Sire were really good.
And
too.
some
I
of
didn't
like,
see any
and
of
some of
those.
like the like, and sometimes like whenever he goes off, like
Yeah, no, he's talented. I just think like, and if he's a very young artist, I think over
Yeah.
time he will grow and get
I also-
to the point where I
yeah.
like him.
I also like him in that sphere of like Tyler, ASAP, and Brockhampton. Like, be like,
Dude, that's what
like
I
I
was
think
gonna
that's like
say.
a really good.
Yeah, he's a young and up and comer.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say when he was in that RCA announcement video for
Yeah.
Brockhampton, I was like, if they make an album together, that would be really.
Yeah, I feel like
I hope he's on Iridescent.
I think he's
yeah.
going to.
I feel like also working with Brockhampton or Tyler would like really like.
It would boost him
Oh,
a
it would-
lot. It
yeah.
would
like he would
It'd be
like, he would-
super
and I feel like he would
influential.
Yeah.
learn a lot from them as
Yeah.
well.
Yeah.
Like start
Oh,
to
for
take
sure.
on
'Cause,
more
like-
of their influence.
I don't know who produced Sire.
I don't either. But
He
if
did
if
Pulse,
Icon is
Icon, I like
yeah,
Icon.
if Icon's not a banger, I don't know like what is.
Like Icon was one of those like tracks that like I was like I don't know how I'm gonna feel about Jaden Smith like making more music ever since his Justin Bieber,
Yeah.
you know, when he was really young. But then I listened to it and I was like pleasantly surprised.
Yeah, he's also a much better rapper than his father ever was.
Oh my god, for sure.
Like
I still haven't like sat down and listened to anything from
Well, like-
him, so I should
Mhm.
probably do that.
Don't like
But the
getting
thing
jiggy
about
with
his-
it.
yeah.
The thing about his dad, you know, he was obviously like always like meant to be into music just because his dad was,
Yeah.
and so it was kind
Yeah.
of like he always had that influence in his life, and they're like two different like generations of
Mhm.
music.
Right.
'Cause I was-
It's kind of hard to like compare them.
Because I was listening to Pothole, right, and like there's that whole Jaden Smith feature on it, and I was thinking about like what his come up was like, because like whenever you think about like you listen to like for like a really good example, even though I don't know why this is like Lil Skies, like whenever he's rapping on like Welcome to the Rodeo, and he's talking about how he's like selling coke to like get to the studio, or like Tyler like you know like having to like hustle with Odd Future to like get into the studio and stuff like that, like.
Yeah.
But he
Jaden
didn't
Smith,
have
it was him probably just walking into a studio.
Because he had
Yeah.
those like connections with
Yeah,
his
like
family,
from his
Yeah.
dad
and
and
his
everything.
sister makes really good music
Yeah,
too.
and
Willow.
he makes money. Like he's been in a few films, so it's not like he has
I
no
feel
short money.
like it's gonna be a little harder for him to like gain some ground like in the rap game just because he has
'Cause he had,
No one will
he's
take
had
him
a fairly
seriously.
easy
Yeah.
like life so
coming
far.
up, yeah.
And
Like
really,
he's-
the biggest thing is like he's just kind of in Will's shadow.
I'm
That's
glad.
true.
But he's coming
I
out
think
of
he's,
it
I think
now.
he's trying to
Yeah.
stray
Yeah.
away from becoming
Right.
his dad's shadow for
He's
sure.
in that
He
ASAP
has-
Rocky and
he
Tyler.
has,
we were
um,
talking about it.
The advantage of growing up in a time where, you know, lyricism and like, old school beats isn't like the thing anymore.
Mhm.
So at least it's not at the forefront of the genre. It's all about like production and creating like earworm hooks and which is completely fine. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
It's-
hip hop has had a completely natural
It's
evolution.
the
that I'm all
evolution
for.
of hip hop.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but
he's,
this is
So I mean, if it would have been the other way and Jaden had like, you know,
he probably would have had a lot more respect.
grown up in the '90s or something, you know, I think it would have been
Oh,
a lot
yeah,
okay.
but
different.
like it's also like I don't think like I also don't think the dude has like is like a bad rapper.
I think he's
like,
alright.
He's
No.
definitely not
Yeah.
my favorite by any means,
But,
but,
like,
I
like,
think he
when it comes
is.
to, like,
He just
he's
needs time
talented
to
for
grow
Sure.
He
into
can
For
be
sure.
better.
And, like,
yeah.
He really wants to be like Frank Ocean, I think.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, and like
Uh-huh.
and I think it was like clear like whenever you're like because I was talking about Pothole earlier and how like as I've been like re-listening to Flower Boy, I actually think Pothole is one of if not the best tracks on that entire album. Yeah, and like for sure, and it's like I've been like paying attention a lot to like how like Tyler delivers his lines and how he writes them, and like it like if you listen to Pothole a lot of it becomes clear and like how he goes about like writing his lyrics. Like whenever you listen, there's a part of his verse where he's like I'm trying to like pay attention to the fact that my mom was right, so I triple left trying to double back, right? Like he's like my mom was right, but the directions and like you know how he like you see how he's like going through his lines and stuff, and like how he decides like how to deliver them, and then you hear the Jaden Smith feature, and like you know that Jaden Smith is like only there for the like hook part of that, right? And like that's all he's there for is like the Jaden Smith voice for that part, but like I can't help but think like how much listening that he probably did to that track. Like and how much like listening like as another rapper like just listening to like Tyler and how he chose to like deliver his lines and like write them probably influenced him just being able to
He
feature
definitely
on that
has
track.
the opportunity to like really take like influence from like Tyler and Rockhampton and everybody and just he's in a really good place right now to
Yeah.
like hone his craft and like get really good.
But what I'm hoping that even with that, the influence, like the other rappers that influence him, I'm hoping he does like find his own
He'll
like
come into his own.
personal
Yeah,
like
for sure.
style.
'Cause
That's really,
He's got the bare bones of.
yeah.
Have you guys listened to a Will Smith record?
No.
Not good.
I've listened
It's
to
really
like
not
you know,
like
Yeah.
like it,
Fresh
You,
Prince
you
of
mean
Bel-Air.
not good just because it's like dated, or not good like it was bad at the time?
like it was bad at the time. Like it wasn't like terrible. Like it was like it's like mediocre, right?
I just think
But,
it's
like,
fun.
Yeah, he's
It
like,
was,
Miami,
like
Nightmare
for
on
the
My
time, I
Street.
think it was
yeah, like
that.
yeah, like he's like he's a fun dude. Like he's Will Smith, right?
Yeah.
But like his rapping was like never really anything special. But like all he really brought to like rap was like the game part. Like like Will Smith had game.
Yeah.
You know, and like
I mean,
like,
the Fresh Prince
Fresh
Fresh
Prince
Prince
of Bel-Air.
theme song
Yeah.
is a banger.
It's a
it
banger
is.
for sure. Like everyone, like, even now, like still listens
Yeah,
to that
because
because
they know
it's
it.
iconic.
But like, it's just really interesting, like listening to Will Smith, and because I remember I was watching like some Fantana video where he like commented on like Will Smith's discography, and it was like not good, and I was like I gotta listen to this now, and it really was like not good, and all I could think about at the time, because like by that point Sire hadn't dropped yet, right? And the only thing I knew by Jaden Smith was that song he did with Justin Bieber
Yeah.
for the
Yeah.
Karate Kid movie.
Never
yeah.
say no.
Yeah,
Oh.
Never Say Never.
Oh,
And
my
I
God.
realized that, like,
I thought I had forgotten about
Yeah,
that.
and so like I was like, fuck, like I was like, man, like James was like he's just like he's got like this like goony like banger, you know, that like everyone like kind of makes fun of now,
Yeah.
Yeah.
and like the shit, that's all that's what Jaden Smith is, and then like Sire dropped, and I was like, oh shit, like I'm actually really into this, and I wasn't like super into it, like it's like a good, like I think it's like pretty good, but like he's just like one of those rappers that I think is like gonna be like coming up. And like his next project will probably be like pretty big.
Yeah, I think it'll be a lot better. And a huge
Michael,
improvement.
let me say, don't ever mention fucking Anthony Fantano on my podcast. Alright?
You have a sticker.
Alright.
We're
You
sponsored
literally
by
have a
this.
he literally this
Slash
bitch,
Mew fucking Fantano core.
This
is not a
little
slash
bitch.
Mew kid.
No, I
this,
know.
this bitch slaps a fucking
I
Anthony
got an
Fantano
Anthony
sticker
Fantano
on his
sticker on the
laptop.
laptop.
He's talking, but he's fuck off.
Ghetto sent to RWM core.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually don't watch Fantano unless it's like a review or it's like an album I've heard of or have listened to.
I will
already.
say, I wouldn't consider myself a fan of Tyler the Creator. I mean, I like some of his stuff, but I've always been way more of a fan of like Earl Sweatshirt and Frank Ocean.
Oh,
who are
yeah.
like two of my favorite artists.
Yeah.
But
Frank Ocean.
I gotta give it to
all
him.
day.
Like I've seen like him in his Nardwuar video is like
Oh, that's
that dude can remember so much shit.
Yeah,
He's
Nardwuar?
very very knowledgeable. No, well, I
Or
mean yeah,
Tyler.
Nardwuar, but Tyler like it really impressed me like how much he knew.
uh-huh.
And he's like very knowledgeable about music, which surprised me.
Like shit, what was I gonna say? I was gonna comment on RYM. I was like, what outside would you, like I feel like a lot of people get taste from RYM, but do you think that that's like the pinnacle of like internet like music discovery? You know, like what
think
else can you do
right
outside?
now,
A
I feel
lot
like
stems
it
from
is.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Even like Fantano stuff like sort of stems. It might not stem from RWM, but like a lot of times stuff that gets really popular on RWM
Yeah.
when it comes out is stuff that gets Fantano's attention.
Yeah.
Which makes me think
if you're
that
like
he
listening
follows
to
it.
like a kind of like experimental album and like your friend recommended it to you or something, they
Yeah.
probably found like the front page.
Yeah.
probably.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
not. It's
or like the
interesting.
lists on RYM.
Yeah,
You have to
right.
think about how it used to be Pitchfork.
Oh, that I hate.
Fuck
Yeah,
Pitchfork.
but
Fucking
like
hate
I'm not. Yeah, but like you have to
Get
think about how
outta
like
here.
like late '90s, like up to like probably like late 2000s, it was all Pitchfork, right? And then like internet blogs. And on the topic of internet blogs, I think they're like super underrated because like you have to remember that like Brockhampton
Oh, yeah.
formed off of like you know
Oh, yeah.
those blogs, and like I
Yeah.
feel like it's odd. Like they got formed off of Kanye Tuda, and
yeah, it was a Kanye.
yeah, it was a Kanye thing, and like I think it's interesting because like we all like I know we all go to RYM in here,
Yeah.
and I
Oh,
know
for sure.
and I know that we all like have at least dabbled in Mew, Like I know, like I don't use it a whole
I've
lot.
actually never been
visited.
on. Yeah,
Really?
I was
I
gonna
always
say-
never visited.
Really?
No.
The
Well,
only,
I
like-
mean, Matt was on it one night. And I was
The only like
there, but I've
music,
never gone on
like
it myself.
searching, and to be fair, like I just like in the last year or so have gotten like heavy into listening to music
Yeah.
and really started exploring stuff.
You learn a lot in a year.
But I've never been on Mew, and I've never I've been on RYM quite a bit, but I haven't taken like a recommendation off the front page or anything. I usually just go to like check a genre, make
On
sure I
the
don't sound like
list.
an idiot if
Yeah.
I'm talking about an album.
Yeah.
Well, like,
Yeah.
my probably main way of finding music, other than Rate Your Music, is like Facebook groups, actually.
Facebook groups.
I
Yeah.
need to get into that.
Which,
I've never
like,
dabbled in
Christian music chart posting is like. It
It's
started
really
out
good.
as
The
like an
chart posting
ironic,
is great.
yeah, like
Yeah.
it started out as like an ironic group, but it's actually blossomed. Into, like,
I
this
get great
really
recommendations
community.
from PMC. Yeah.
But a lot of what they are into stems from either like the top group members who are like huge aficionados who are like
Yeah.
way beyond like
They have
anything I
a
wanna know.
giant list, like link on their front page of like it's like 500 albums or something like that.
It's not that many. It's like 100.
There's a
maybe.
lot, like it, and it's like required patrician listening.
I'm gonna do some homework.
Okay.
Okay. Thanks for coming.
No, it's fine.
You gotta leave. Yeah, we're hitting 40 minutes,
Yeah.
so we'll probably wind it down then.
But yeah, yeah, no, I definitely like pretty much only use RYM, if only like for the feature of going into like the chart like or genre seek and like clicking a random button
Mhm.
and like
Mhm.
catching a genre that like tags like like hits my interest.
Yeah.
Also, YouTube, like if you
Oh,
if
yeah.
you
YouTube
do
is
that.
amazing.
And
Yeah.
like if you like do like say like
recommendations.
something like that for RYM and you go and you look it up on YouTube and then like
Mhm.
sometimes you just find like some of the most interesting stuff
Yeah.
on YouTube,
Yeah.
like just like that gets recommended to you.
Dude, yeah, like
It's such
there's a
good
lot
algorithm.
of like really cool fucking like remixes, like mashups and stuff on
Oh, yeah.
YouTube, and did you watch Potato Salad, the Tyler and
Yeah.
ASAP
Yeah.
video? That was fucking awesome.
Yeah, and
that
like
was really good.
I remember I was listening to some city pop album on YouTube because it's pretty much the only place you can find
Oh
it.
yeah.
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 And because I was trying to like explore that genre, and it sent me to this it like recommended me this like very interesting jazz album, and I cannot remember it, but I know you'd listen to it. You
Was
listened to it
it
as well.
Oh, it's
Moxie.
scenery.
Oh, jazz, yeah.
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 Ryo.
Yeah.
Yeah, Ryo Fukuyi, and like I was like just so interested in it, and like other stuff you can find in there, like that the Brave Little Abacus. Like you can like pretty much only find their stuff on YouTube now.
Mhm.
Like I think so. Like YouTube has been like actually like a pretty big, unironically,
If you-
has
Yeah,
been,
no.
like, a
If you
huge-
put in like, I use like a separate account for like all the music stuff, and I've actually been listening to a lot of music on YouTube recently because the way that its algorithm works is like better than any radio I've ever seen. Like if
Yeah.
you listen to
yeah,
like
can I say
weird
fuck
underground.
Pandora? Fuck
Yeah.
If you listen to
That's
like
the worst.
weird underground albums, you will start to get some really good stuff.
Yeah,
from the algorithm.
yeah. No, I
It's
think
really
its
fascinating.
algorithm is like actually fairly underrated.
Guys, to finish off the podcast, I want to start a weekly segment called Dan's Corner. Dan, give us an album recommendation, buddy.
Oh, an album recommendation?
Yeah, come on.
Can I just drop a name?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Forest.
Forest.
Yeah,
what?
2 R's
Yeah,
and then
fucking
there's a
talk
period.
about
Do you
By
know who
who?
it is?
Yeah, you
That's-
talk
that's
about
the
first
artist?
album,
I like him a lot, yeah.
What album? What album?
Warm.
Warm by
Yeah.
Forest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's
Alright.
new.
There you
Yeah,
go.
I see it. Yeah.
All right.
That was Dan's
That was
corner.
Dan's
That's Dan's
corner.
corner.
I don't know if anyone will like
Good
it,
job,
but,
Dan. No, we'll all hate
but
it. dude.
yeah, you probably will, honestly.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely tear to shreds.
You
Yeah.
definitely
We'll-
do that, yeah.
We'll do like
destroy
That's
you.
next week.
We'll do like a 2-hour podcast reviewing the album Dan recommended.
Yeah.
Like just fucking
song,
destroy
Let me
it.
tell you
Yeah,
why
like
this
piece
sucks
by
and why
piece.
this
It's definitely like we
is
definitely do
trash.
like an essay and podcast form about like why
Yeah, just absolutely
like, Warm by
obliterate
Forest
that
is
album.
bad. Yeah.
now. Yeah.
And like we'll have to come up with the whole thesis, everything.
Yeah.
Yeah, just destroy that album.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say?
All right.
Plug, talk about.
Subscribe to the
Matt,
Gaming
words?
Laboratory.
Subscribe to the Gaming
Yeah,
Laboratory.
you have to look up a laboratory with a 0 though for the first O.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. We're done.
Sweet.
Someone say something funny real quick.